early 2010s, there was a very sharp increase in washing machine imports from two companies, Samsung and LG, and they were all coming from South Korea. You were listening. Whirlpool, this mega company, essentially started claiming that this competition was unfair.
So what does unfair actually mean in the context of trade?
Unfair can either mean subsidized, so the companies are getting direct funding from the government that you're not supposed to do under the international rules, or it can mean that the companies are selling their washing machines, in this case, at a price in the U.S. market that's somehow defined as too low, lower than their cost of production, or maybe lower than the prices that they're charging for those same washing machines back at home.
Our washer business was losing money, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Aaron Spira is Whirlpool's chief legal officer.
So in response to the unlawful actions by Samsung and LG, we're faced with a choice. Either don't sell a product because it's unprofitable to do so, thereby losing market share, or sell at a loss.
Now Samsung and LG, Whirlpool's main competitors, flat out deny playing dirty.
We do not dump our washing machines in the United States.
When it comes to U.S. trade policy and the rules, we comply 100%.
Instead, say the spokespeople for both Samsung and LG, they've been gaining on Whirlpool by making a better, more innovative product.
We're the first to use steam technology in washing machines.
We've come out with machines that can do 2 loads at the same time.
We're leading the way with connected appliances.
We invented AdWash, which, it seems like a very simple concept. How did no one think of this before?
So you could open it and toss in a sock.
It's like the top secret door, yes.
Yeah, which our engineers found it did have some utility.
But Whirlpool's share of the overall market has been getting smaller and smaller, down from half to just over a third. Whirlpool blames unfair competition from Samsung and LG, and U.S. regulators have agreed, repeatedly. In a 2013 decision, they slapped a tariff on washers made in South Korea.
And before the order could go into effect, rather than comply with the U.S. government orders, LG and Samsung moved their production to China.
2017, another Whirlpool complaint, another tariff, this time against washers made in China.
And this time they moved to Thailand and Vietnam.
You've got trade, in this case, being a bit like water. So you're trying to plug one leak in one place and it's just coming up in a different one.
For their parts, LG and Samsung deny that decisions about factory locations were driven by tariffs. But even if they were, says economist Chad Bown, so what?
It's very normal and completely legal. It may be, in fact, evidence that the company is just selling a product that consumers really, really want to buy and that they are really good at producing it.
Now, those 2 earlier rounds of tariffs were under President Obama. Then came Donald Trump with his tough-on-trade platform, and the county where Whirlpool's washer plant sits, which had gone for Obama twice, went for Trump by 23 points. So Whirlpool made a bold move. It asked the Trump administration to impose washer tariffs worldwide by invoking a rarely used piece of trade law. And unlike the earlier complaints, Whirlpool would not have to prove that LG and Samsung had done anything illegal or even unfair.
All you have to show is that the imports coming in from the world are coming in, and it's hurting the domestic company.
The U.S. International Trade Commission agreed, and in January, Trump announced a big new tax on foreign washers.
Big industry, a lot bigger than people would understand.
For this first year, any company importing washing machines to the U.S. is hit with a 20% tariff for the first 1.2 million machines that they bring in. Now, any subsequent washing machines they bring in after that 1.2 million mark are hit with a 50% tariff, so it is pretty steep.
And sure enough, prices were going up, a lot. So far this spring, they've spiked 17%. And it's not just foreign washers that are more expensive now. Whirlpool has raised prices too. It blames higher costs, but as Sumaya Keynes points out,
The whole point of this tariff is to give the domestic industry relief. So if it works, then Whirlpool is supposed to be able to increase their prices and profits. The whole point is that they've been injured by this foreign competition, and this is supposed to let them get back to financial strength.
So if prices go up, that's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
But it means consumers are worse off because they're now paying more.
At ABW Appliances outside Washington, D.C., showroom manager Chris Hemmingson says his customers may not mind.
After the last 10 years of the downturn of not purchasing a lot of things, they really want what they want. and $30 to $50, maybe $100 doesn't really change their opinion on things. And I don't think that people would mind paying a little bit more if they knew that American jobs were being created and hopefully it was paying somebody's salary.
In fact, Whirlpool has already hired 200 new workers in Clyde. Plus, Samsung has just created 650 new jobs in South Carolina, and LG will soon add 600 in Tennessee.
We're doing exactly what President Trump wants to do. We're investing in America and we're creating jobs.
By making washers in the U.S., they can avoid those pesky tariffs. They've also cashed in on all the ways that states and counties woo new plants and new jobs these days, with generous grants, tax credits, and other goodies.
Does the Clyde plant receive any similar public subsidies?
The state of Ohio has been a great partner for Whirlpool for many years, but I don't believe we've received support in the neighborhood of what you were listing for Samsung and LG.
Which means Samsung and LG may enjoy the exact same kinds of advantages, government subsidies, here in the U.S. that Whirlpool accused them of getting back in Korea. Trump's attempts to help American companies and workers through tough trade measures could backfire for other reasons. His steel and aluminum tariffs have sharply raised the cost of making washers.
It's a meaningful percentage of the products, so we will have to do our best to offset those costs.
And other countries are fighting back with a laundry list of American products they plan to slap their own tariffs on. One product that the European Union and Canada are both targeting: American-made washing machines. So will the president's tariffs actually help or hurt American workers? It could be a wash. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Catherine Rampell reporting from Ohio and New York.